this is another video from Siemens PLC programming series, and today we want to see one application of PLC TOFF timer. So what we want to do today, so as you can see here, this is what we want to design. So we have actually a tank. You have two valves. The first one is the fill valve, which is whenever you fire this, it start to put the water inside this tank. So the second actually valve that we have is discharge valve. Whenever you trigger this valve, so it somehow discharge the water. So we want to design a control panel for this, which have two push button. The first one is the fill, the next one is the discharge push button, and also two light, one for the fill light and one for discharge light. So whenever you push the fill push button, so these valves should start to fire this valve and start to actually put the water inside this tank for specific time interval. For our case, we want to be filling for 5 seconds. So definitely you could change that time. So for this case, whenever you push this button, we want to this start to fill for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds it should be off. So a similar thing for discharge push button. So whenever you push this push button, it should be fired. This discharge valve should be start to discharge the water from the tank for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds it should be turned off. So that means each of this one fill the tank for 5 seconds, then it's off, and this one discharge the water for 5 seconds, then it should be off. So these two lights, whenever you are actually filling the water, it should be on, and whenever you discharge the water, these lights should be on. So it is obvious whenever this discharge light is on, this should be off. Whenever this is on, that means filling. This definitely is not discharge, should be off. So that's the whole things that we want to do. Again, with pushing this, just 5 seconds filling the tank, and with pushing this, 5 second discharge the water. So let's see how we could design the ladder logic. So we have the ladder logic here, so definitely you need actually two uh, push button. We actually call first one the discharge PB, which is the push button, the next one fill. So see here I summarize the input and output that we have, the physical input. So we have one fill push button. I put in the input 0 in the PLC input port, and discharge for I1 input 1. So how many output we should have? So definitely we need two light, one for fill light, the second one for the discharge light, and also two output, one for the fill valve and the second one for discharge the valve. Here you see the order of the physical output that we assign for each of them. The fill light is on output 0, fill valve output 1, discharge light output 2, and discharge valve is output 3. So we also use two internal bits, which I explained in a previous video. So the internal bit technically is not the physical output or input. These are just internal bits. In ladder logic, we use them in our program or in our ladder logic. So how you could make that? You just use the percentage M 0.1 is for F bit, which I use. I have actually used two bit. One I call that F bit. The second one is, this is technically is fill bit or F bit, and discharge bit or DC bit actually assign M01. So let's see how it works. Again, just take a look to this. With pushing this one, the light should be on, this valve should be fired and should be on for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it should be off. Whenever you push this one, this should be fired and discharge the water, and after 5 seconds, it should be off. So let's see how we could do that. So first line is here. So we use actually the TOFF timer. We set up the time for 5 seconds, and this is discharge push button. And this is the internal bit, this discharge bit. Let's see what's the meaning of this. So normally whenever you don't push that, this is closed, nothing happen here. So whenever you push the discharge push button, so definitely should be power up, it comes to the timer. So that means this is T off timer. So that means whenever you push this, immediately DC bit is on. And it will be on for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds is off. So we explained the T off timer in our timer video. If you didn't watch that video, the link is in the top of the screen. So you push the discharge, so the DC bits is 1. So let's to see what's happened whenever you push that, or this DC bit is 1. So if this is 1 or 1, so definitely this is connected, so it's definitely fired the discharge valve and also discharge light. This is what we expect, right? Whenever you push the discharge push button, so this should be the light, and also valve should be fire up. So that means you push this, the light is on, and also this is work. Just be careful how long it is firing these two. You push this, immediately this is on, that means immediately the discharge valve start to working, but this one is going to be 0 after 5 seconds. So that means after 5 seconds is 0, this is closed. So that means both valve and the discharge will be off. This is exactly what we want. So similar thing for the fill valve and the light. So as you could see, we use almost the same thing here. So whenever you push the fill push button, so the power comes here. So this is a T off timer. I forget to put the 5 second here. We should add that 5 second here. So that means you push fill push button. So this is immediately F bit, internal bit is 1, and after 5 seconds it will be off. So what's happened? If this is immediately on, it's going to be immediately turn on the fill valve and immediately go to the turn on the fill light. So that means you push the fill push button. So this is immediately on. So whenever this is immediately on, you actually turn on the fill valve and also fill light. So this is what we want. But how long this F bit is 1, that's dependent on this timer. If you add 5 seconds here, so that means this is 1 for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds is 0. So whenever this is 0, this is closed, so the valve and also its light going to be down, and both of them will be off. So this is exactly what we want to do. So as you could see here, easily based off these ports and also these internal bits, we could somehow implement these scenario that you see here. So let's go to the TIA portal and see how we could implement this in the TIA portal. So here I have the TIA portal. So I already put this T off. We already explained this in the T off timer video, that you know how you could actually add this to your ladder logic. So again, if you didn't watch that, please watch that TF time. So whatever you see here and I'm implemented here is exactly the same ladder logic that you have here. So with these actually input and output that I assign in these here in OneNote. So even you could check them. So see the discharge push button is input 1. So this one is the timer, 5 seconds for that. This is actually the internal bit M00. So here is the same M00, and you have two outputs. So discharge wall output is on the output 3, and discharge light is in output 2. So here, so the fill push button is input 0. So this is your timer. This is a 5 second. This is what we forgot to put in our OneNote file. So this one should be 5 second, and you could actually add that in that place. So I actually corrected that. Here is 5. This is your F bit, which is on internal bit M01 for, you actually use two internal, one for discharge bit on M0.0 and M01 which is on F bit. So I explained how you could make internal bit in our previous video. So if you didn't watch the T on timer application, please click on the link which we have in the top of the screen. I explained there how we could make the internal bits. So again, this is same thing that we have in OneNote, and finally this is the F bit on M01, and we have two other output. Fill valve is on output 1 and fill light is in output 0. Again, the order is exactly the same order and the same input and output that you see here in this file. So let to actually, so I already put on the live mode, and let I turn on my video here that you are able to see the PLC too. So let's to see what happened. So as I already explained, so the fill is I push this. The fill is on input 0, so that means this toggle switch that you see. Discharge push button is on toggle switch number 1. So 0 is fill, this is discharge. So see the output. So see the first one, the 0 is fill light. So number 1 is fill valve, number 2 is discharge light, and number 3 is the valve. Okay, so what you expect here, I have the fill. So if I trigger the fill, so what you expect, so see this light, it should be on. You actually, the valve is on, just that should be there for just 5 seconds, right? So I repeat that again. So maybe I could do one more things here, and I able to make this a little small that you could see the live ladder logic here too. Okay, so let's to take a look to this and also the PLC. So whenever I push, maybe start with this. So whenever I push the fill push button, what should be happen immediately? The fill valve and its light should be on. So that means the output 0 and 1 should be on. How long they should be on? For just for 5 seconds. So see this. It is on. After 5 seconds, the both should be off. So they are on, after 5 seconds is off. How you could adjust that with putting this 5. So now comes here and we do the same thing with the second discharge push button, which is in input 1. So now it is off. If I actually turn that on, so they are actually, the both is on. So see, these two is on. How long they should be on? Should be just for 5 seconds. So I repeat the both again. So back here, start with the fill. So I fill that. It actually should be on for 5 seconds. Then the both should be off. That's off. That's right. So see, I on. It is here for 5 seconds. Then it will be off. So that's actually what. Yeah, I should actually switch this faster. It's okay. So let I do that again. So I put that. So fill. So the both is on. So after 5 seconds is off. So do the same for off push. Actually discharge push button, which is here. So that is the IO1. I actually trigger that. The both discharge light is on. The valve is on. After 5 seconds they are off. So I repeat that. So they are both on. After 5 seconds is off. That's right. Let's do the for the fill. I fill it for 5 seconds. Light and valve is on. After 5 seconds they are off. Repeat that for the discharge. So the boost is on, after 5 seconds is off. So as you could see, our program works. Thank you for watching this video, and see you all in next video.